Hey, parents of my second grade leopards, this is Miss Brown, and I'm here to talk to you about literacy in second grade and how you can help at home. So, why is literacy important in second grade? Parents, kids who are strong readers perform better in school and they are more confident about school and themselves. Reading is the root of all learning. They cannot do math word problems if they cannot read. They can't follow directions for a science experiment if they cannot read. We have to make literacy a focus, and all other things will fall into place. So, your second grader, here is what your second grader does with reading every day. One thing that they do that every second grader does is called Fundations. This is phonics. This is teaching your students how to learn to read and sound out words. That is what Fundations is. Then there's Heggerty's. Heggerty's is phonological awareness. That's kind of a weird word, but all that means is kids have to hear the sounds and hear rhyming and hear syllables before they can read fluently. So this is hearing the sounds before they're able to read the sounds. Then there's Bookworms. This is exposing your child to all kinds of different stories, fiction, nonfiction, and building their vocabulary. And if kids have a good vocabulary, they can understand what they're reading much better. Then there's small group instruction. This is really important because this works with your child on exactly what they need help with. Your second grader they're broken into different groups during small group, and the teacher is working with them on exactly what they need to be working on. Okay, so we talked about Fundations. This is the phonics and how to sound out words. So I want you to watch Miss Monarella's class. She does an example of something they do in Fundations.
Syllables. And an open syllable, who can tell me what an open syllable is?
Ooh.
Sarah?
A syllable that has a consonant at the end of the word.
It has a consonant at the end of the
Vowel.
word? A vowel at the end of the word. And what does the vowel do at the end of that syllable?
Say its name.
It says its name. It says it makes the long sound. Okay, well, we now know what an open syllable is, but we can look at open syllables in a multisyllabic word. Everybody look up here. This word is
Robot.
robot. How many syllables are in this word?
One. Two.
Two. Our first syllable is
Row.
Our second is
Box.
What type of syllable is our first syllable?
Open.
It is an open syllable because we have one vowel at the end of the syllable and it's saying its
Name.
name. So we're going to mark it open.
And
This
that was
syllable.
Closed.
Paisley, how do we know that this is a closed syllable? It has one vowel. Cooper, what else?
It's the O's locked in by the consonant T.
It's locked in by that consonant T. And what sound does O make, Titus, in this word? Syllable. Does it say O? Oat?
Oh no.
It's short. It has that short sound. So we have robot. Syllables.
Okay, so that was an example of Fundations. Next, we have an example of Heggerty's. Heggerty's, remember, is a program that we use that I talked to you about where they're hearing the sounds. Before you can read, you've got to be able to hear those things. So Heggerty's focuses a lot on rhyming words. So we're going to watch Miss Shaddix's students using Heggerty's.
Okay, so remember, I'm going to give you two words, and then you are going to repeat those words, and you're going to give me a thumbs up if they rhyme, a thumbs down if they don't rhyme. Okay? So the first set is go, no.
Go, no.
Thumbs up, rhymes. Good. All right. Yes, me.
Yes, me.
Good. Does not rhyme. Sad, mad.
Sad, mad.
Good. All right. Out, pig.
Out, pig.
Does not rhyme. Good. Fun, run.
Fun, run.
Good. tell me what is the beginning sound that you hear. All right, so for example, summer.
Summer.
Good. All right, baker.
Baker.
Good. All right, happy.
Happy.
Good. Okay, so remember I'm
Okay, here's an example of Bookworms. Remember, Bookworms exposes kids to lots of different stories and texts, and it helps them build vocabulary and comprehension so they can understand what they read. Here's an example of Bookworms being used in Miss Kemp's room, and she's talking about vocabulary.
Around all the earth.
It means that a certain type of animal is about to go extinct or gone forever. It means that animal is not going to exist anymore. Endangered is an adjective that describes animals that are no longer going to be around anymore. Endangered species are animals that might become extinct or gone forever. Let's see, the black rhinoceros and the mountain gorilla are two examples of endangered species or species that are about to be or already gone forever. Yes, Jimmy?
Also, endangered can mean like it's about it's almost there to being extinct, and extinct kind of means like there's no more of that animal around forever.
There's no more of that animal forever. Right. We're going to learn that there are endangered species outside of the rainforest. Remember how Judy was getting her inspiration from the rainforest?
Okay, so you just saw Miss Kemp's student teacher using vocabulary from a book that they're reading in Bookworms. Okay, here's another example of something that students do in Bookworms. It's called choral reading. This is something, parents, when you're reading with kids at home, that you can do with your child. You can use this strategy called choral reading. Let's watch.
Judy wiggled all during math in the morning. She squirmed through spelling. At last, it was science. Over half the world's plants and animals are found in rainforests, Mr. Todd said, which is why it's so important to protect the rainforest. The health of our whole planet depends on it.
So that was an example of choral reading. Now, remember, we also talked about small group. This is where your child gets time with the teacher in a small group with specific skills that they need to work on. So right here, Miss Kemp has a small work group, and she's working on reading with these kids. She is listening to them read and helping them on what they need help with. So watch this real quick in Miss Kemp's class.
Guys, today we're looking at our Jane Goodall book, and we're looking in the glossary. Who can tell me what a glossary is? Genevieve, what's a glossary?
A glossary is kind of something that, like, it mostly in the glossary would show like the bold words and what they mean.
Absolutely, the bolded words that are in our story and their meanings. I want everyone to point to the word termite. Termite. Together, we're going to read that definition together. All right, ready and go. A soft white insect that eats wood. Termite. I want you to think for a minute of why the word termite might be in our book. Just think, keep it in your head, and then we're going to go back and read it, okay? Next, I want you to look at the word behave. Behave. Everybody point to that word. Behave, and let's read that definition together. Ready and go.
How you act.
All right, so we're going to learn a little bit about how chimpanzees behave in our story of Jane Goodall. I want you to turn back to the beginning of the book, and we're going to start whisper reading on page 2. So I'm going to listen while you whisper read.
Okay, so you could see an example there. She's going around and she's going to listen to each child read and address some of the issues that they may be having while they're reading. Okay, so there's some things your kids have to be able to do by the end of second grade. This is where we want them to be. We want them to have a 525 Lexile score. A Lexile score is just basically where they are in their reading. And a Lexile score will follow them all the way up through high school. So we want your second grade student to have a Lexile score of 525 at the end of the year. So when you have your conferences coming up with your teachers in March, ask them what your child's Lexile goal is right now. Remember, we want it to be a 525. Now, each child has their own goal that they're supposed to grow their Lexile score by 200 points this year. So if they started at 100, we want them to grow that Lexile to 300 by the end of the year. Phonics, we have some goals. We want boys and girls to be able to read and write multisyllabic words. That's just words with lots of syllables. We want them to understand the long vowel sounds, the short vowel sounds, R-controlled, double vowel syllables, lots of things like that. And we want them to know their suffixes like ES and things like that at the end of the words. We also want kids to master reading and writing their trick words or their sight words through List 13. And if you want some of these resources, just ask your child's teacher and they'd be happy to send them home. All right, here's what I need you to do, parents. In order for our kids to be successful, we have to teach them at Long Cane, but you also have to do your part at home. Here's how we can have successful leopards with reading. Parents, every single night, set a time. It's 8 o'clock at my house, where you read to your child or your child reads to you. Even reading to your child is just as important. Make sure you do this every single night. Remember, when kids read for 20 minutes every single night, they are 90% better on tests than other children who do not. Make sure when you're reading that you read a variety of fiction and nonfiction books. Fiction books are just fun stories, and nonfiction books teach us about something, like All About Lizards or something like that. Very important that you read both types of books. Discuss vocabulary words. Remember, if you want your child's Lexile level to be a 525 at the end of the year, they have to have a good vocabulary so they understand what they're reading. So make sure you talk about those big words in that story. Remember, a child who reads 20 minutes a day will likely score better than 90% of their peers on standardized tests. It's very important. 20 minutes is all we ask of you reading or your child reading. When you ask what you can do at home, this is the number one thing you can do at home. Read with your child. All right, so comprehension's a big deal because sometimes kids can read. They can read the words in the book, but they have no idea what they just read. That's called comprehension, and that's a skill that kids have to learn. So there are some cards that you will get in your goodie bag. You can see them over there on the right. There are questions for you to ask before the child reads, while the child is reading, and at the end of reading with your child. These questions are very important and they can work for any book. This will help increase your Lexile level as well. And then here's the trick words. Here's some trick words right here for second grade that they just need to be able to know. They're over here to the side. So look at those and practice those and discuss words that have multiple meanings in second grade. So example, the word bark can mean two things. It can be the sound that a dog makes, but it can also mean the outer part of a tree. So make sure you're talking about that. Okay, phonological awareness. So remember, this is hearing the sounds. So practice these little games in the car. Caroline, say meat. Meat. Say it again without the sound. And Caroline should say eat. Say safe. Safe. Say it again without the f sound. And they should say say. So these are different activities that you can practice with your kid that will help them become better readers. All right, for writing, get your child to journal and let them practice writing things. Let them write out the grocery list. Let them write to you how they're feeling. Make sure that they do correct capitalization and punctuation and practice what they write. Practice reading what they write together. Encourage them to write a lot. Okay, so if you are watching this video, your child is going to get to take home a goodie bag, an LCE Literacy Bag. We want you to take these bags everywhere with you and replace the books in them. So, for example, if you're going to Chick-fil-A and you have to wait for your food, bring your literacy bag. It's a great time to get your 20 minutes of reading in every night. So, if you get a bag, you're going to get one My Weird School book, kids love those, and one A to Z mystery book will be in your bag. You will also get those comprehension cards for you to ask questions with your kids when they're reading a book. You're also going to get literacy tips, different ways that you can help increase their vocabulary, their fluency, their comprehension. So you're going to get a paper that tells you how to do those things, and then some fun bendy pencils and bubbles and different things of that sort. So if you complete the survey, you get one of these bags. So the link of the survey will be provided by your child's teacher. Make sure you put your child's name on that survey so that Miss Brown can get them a literacy bag. And we really appreciate you watching our video. Please, the number one thing, read with your child every night. Let them read to you. And we look forward to hearing from you. And of course, if you have any questions, you let Miss Brown know. Thanks so much, everybody. Bye.